I'm a car, the
Hello. Welcome to my review of Fast X. Well, I'm not going to look at the camera because for some reason I don't look at the camera properly. My name's Ian Austin, and this is my review of Fast X. I'm wearing Gremlins t-shirt and drinking coffee because it's Monday morning. Fast X. So what do I think about Fast X? Well, firstly, I should start by saying I'm a fan of the Fast and Furious movies in general. Again, I'm not on camera, just ignore it. I like movies, they're fun, they're silly, they're fun, they're crazy, they're mad, they're wild, and they're action-packed. And especially since, like, fifth one, Fast 5, which is my favourite, and which this one has a lot of connotations with, I think this one is probably the most fun I've had. I say it's a lot. Most fun I've had at the cinema in ages. I wouldn't say that. I'd say most fun I've had in terms of a blockbuster in a while. I should probably add there's going to be spoilers from this point, so if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this review. But just in terms of sheer spectacle of it, in fact, it has no real story. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's really fun, and I think best part for me, and best part for everyone, was Jason Momoa. I mean, come on. Round of applause, Mr. Momoa. Round of applause. Because that was a particularly fun performance. And I think that's because I think Fast and Furious for me has always been a franchise where it's been built up and anchored by the antagonists. Because I think back to my favourite part of the third movie was Sonny Chiba. Because Sonny Chiba's fucking awesome. And Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift, it's not free because of the timeline getting strange and constricted, but they've always add up. I mean, you think Fast 5 with The Rock, you think of Fast 7 with Jason Statham, you think Fast 8 and 9 with Charlize Theron, and bad guys have re-edited, because you have a good bad guy and your halfway job is done. You know, he's playing a good movie. Really fun movie. This one, Jason Momoa takes it to a fucking whole new level, because he's doing Thanos, he's doing Loki style shit, and there were villains for them obviously, but he's elevating this to a whole new level because he's having time of his fucking life, and it's amazing. It's so much fun. I mean, he's so good. Like, this is the most thing you can take away from Fast and Furious thing. It's Jason Momoa is so good. Like, you think like, why? This guy is not a hero. This guy should not be playing heroes. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's great as Aquaman. He's really, really good, but this guy was born to play villains and to be given complete carte blanche to do whatever he wants. Why would you try turning this guy into a generic Hollywood lead? He's a weird character actor in the body of a superstar. This is one of the weirdest performances I've seen in years. This is not something you normally see in a big budget blockbuster, where there's literally scenes, they've even made this. There's scenes where he is literally in movie doing things, which they added because they loved him in the movie so much, they gave him more scenes. They make the movie longer to accommodate Jason Momoa. And these scenes have nothing to do with the plot. Nothing. Not that there is much plot, but they have nothing to do with the plot. But they highlights of goddamn movie. This is some Tommy Wiseau shit, and it's wonderful. And it's so much fun to watch. And he's dragging this movie up, because as good as Charlize Theron and Jason Statham were, they were still somewhat serious performances to an extent. They were a bit goofy and broad, but this is like something out of an improvised student comedy. This is like, hey man, can I have pigtails in my hair for the scene? And that's, if you made a stupid movie, like why the fuck not? Like, will probably pass because we made something. And this is very much like that, and I can respect that. Being someone who's made low budget schlock and done a lot of stupid shit just to make myself laugh, seeing that in big budget movies is fantastic. Well, I know you're thinking, Ian, what about the rest of the movie? Well, it's really entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I think I would go so far as saying, I said this on Twitter, that my two favourite movies this year, and I know a lot of people be like, you Philistine piece of shit. But my two favourite movies this year are Evil Dead Rise, which I'll or fight you over, because it's great, and Fast and Furious X, because they're the most fun. And I don't know about you guys, but I go to the cinema to have fun. I want to enjoy, I love schlock, I want to enjoy nonsense, and I do love the occasional legitimately good movie from an artistic standpoint, but I just want to see shit blow up and people say lines like "mummies with the maggots" now. I gotta say on camera. It's awesome to me. I like that. It's fun. Why wouldn't you like do that? You know, just make good, fun, stupid roller coaster movies. Well, because I have 2 degrees in film and television studies, I am a movie aficionado and expert. It's just what science says. I do have to talk about criticism movie. And the main criticism movie is not even criticisms. I don't think it's criticism, but it's really dumb. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's just the science of the movie even makes my head hurt, because I don't know whether these people legitimately do not know how bombs work, or cars work, or people work, or reality works, or anything, or oxygen works, or planes work, or explosions work. But who gives a shit? Seriously, like, it goes back to what I've always said about continuity movies. Continuity matters until it doesn't matter. Reality matters until it doesn't matter. Look, I know, and most people who watch these and enjoy movies know they're complete bollocks. They're complete twaddle. They're schlock. And schlock is fine. Look, it doesn't have to make sense. As long as you just keep moving and don't draw attention to how little sense it makes, it's fine. It's if you stop and you have characters explain how the logistics of it works, it's like, I remember we were in a script writing class once, and professors talked about how in a movie, if you have scientists say it doesn't fucking matter, and the movie works. You know, if you have scientists like go over it and say this doesn't make any sense, then the movie just works from there. I kind of agree with that, but I kind of don't think necessarily you want to let your audience know. It's kind of like a magic trick. You don't want to stop him with a magic trick and go, this is how we're doing it. Don't think about how it does make any sense, because then your audience is going to think about how it does make any sense. So you want to keep going in concise fashion and just make the movie and not draw attention to how dumb it is. Although Fast and Furious does that on occasion. Like Alan Ritchson's character does point out how they defy laws of reality at some point. But I think I choose to see that more as an example of them acknowledging how the movies have changed over the years, from like simple heist movies like 10 movies of weirdness. Yeah. The other critique is Brie Larson gets nothing to do, and I know a large person, well, a sizable portion, like a bunch of arseholes don't like Brie Larson online because, god damn it, she's a woman who's in shape, she's funny, she's smart, she seems nice, she's good at acting, it's good directing and writing too, and she seems like a lovely person. So of course they fucking hate her because she's a Mary Sue and they're complete douchebags. But she doesn't really get much to do in this movie, and that probably is something they take delight in. And also, the movie does feel like 2 movies cut in half. Now, don't get me wrong, I love what's here, but it clearly does feel like, part 1 of 3 parts now, I guess. Like, for example, Jason Statham's character says, I'm going to go protect my mum, and then disappears for the entire movie. And you feel like if this was one movie, they'd go back to that, but then again, I mean, we got plenty of Jason Momoa, so it's all good. And in theory, it's a trilogy-trained franchise. It's not going to fucking end franchise, but in theory, it's a trilogy-trained franchise, which means a lot of stupid cliffhangers. And look, if you're still watching by this point, you clearly are in spoilers, because I told you there's going to be spoilers, and I'll put a spoiler tag on front video, but Gal Gadot's back, because fucking course she is, because I'm sure you could find a way to criticise the fact that death doesn't mean anything in these movies, but particularly now death doesn't fucking mean anything in these movies, because how the fuck is she back? But then I just think, I don't give a shit. Like, whatever. And then at the end credits, The Rock comes back, which is slightly less cool. You know, I was not expecting I thought Gal Gadot would come back, considering the DCU is fucked anyway Sunday, but, you know, I didn't think it'd be in this movie. On a fucking submarine, no less. So, yeah, there's Fast and Furious X. And what would my final grade be for out of 5? I mean, you have to always go by the litmus test of, I saw this once. I saw Evil Dead 3 times. Some confidence to say Evil Dead is 4.5 out of 5. But I saw this once. But, so my initial reaction is tempered by the fact that I saw it in cinema with my dad and it was awesome. But what would I give that experience? I'd go for a 5. Now, that's a 5 for the cinema one. It'll go down as time goes forward. But for now, 5. You know, initial feedback 5. I had a fucking blast. It was well of time. It was loud. It was stupid. It was funny. Jason Momoa's performance was fantastic. It was crazy. It didn't make a goddamn bit of sense. It defied laws of science, but that's good because fuck science. 5 out of 5. Fuck it. Thank you for watching or listening if you're listening on the podcast. I don't know anymore. Bye.